Welcome to the show, everybody. How's it going? Good morning. I do not normally go live this early, but I'm trying to make a little bit of a habit of that, and hope you like that little intro I put together. That is the beta intro to streaming. I'm trying to figure out a good type of intro for it. I don't know. I was fooling around with it, so it puts more of a kick to the show in a way. So let me say hello to the Script Doctor. What's up, man? You're doing awesome. I'm going to check out some of your videos soon, your YouTube channel, and met you on Twitter. So, yeah, I'll check out you in a little bit, sometime this week probably. And got Bionic Belly Button, one of the Doomcock darlings. How's it going? So this is going to be a weird kind of stream because it's not going to be about movies right now or anything in pop culture. This is just going to be me talking about my stories working as a Subway employee, basically, my sandwich artist stories, because those are some interesting ones sometimes. I mentioned them briefly on a lot of live streams that I'm on quite a bit, and a lot of people love hearing those stories. And I'm like, yeah, why not do one where I actually just focus on that for a bit so people can get some of those funny tales going down their way. All right, so I should probably start with when I first got hired at a Subway, and that was around 2012 when I got hired. That was after my senior year, and I went to this one Subway that was actually kind of down the road from where I went to school, and I'd go there all the time at lunch because it was a funny thing. They just tried this new thing at our school where, if you have over a 2.5 GPA or 2.0 GPA, then you can have an hour lunch instead of just a half an hour. And there's plenty of time to walk down to this one Subway. And I would go there almost all the time for lunch, sometimes to Carl's Jr. and stuff. But I'd go there and I would apply. I applied there like 3 or 4 times and they never hired me. But then at some point, I walk in one day and their employee just quit or something. And then there's like, hey, dude, do you want to work here? I'm like, yeah, why don't you check your desk? There's probably like 15 applications. And they're like, okay, well, we'll set you up for an interview. And the guy schedules one. I'm like, hey, I want to be the first one, the first day. This was going to be my first job right after high school. I just graduated. I'm like, okay, this is going to be my first job. I want to try to seem really eager, be the first one in the day. And the manager sits me down and he's just like, so you just graduated. You got no experience yet. That's cool. You're eager to work. So what kind of video games do you like to play? What kind of movies do you watch? And the whole interview was literally him just asking me questions about video games and movies. Like we were just talking back and forth about stuff that we like. And that was freaking hilarious. And I got the job. And he said he had like at least 5 more interviews after me that day. So they must have been really bad to have somebody with no experience. And then we just talked about movies, get the job. So that's pretty funny. But that could just be how he kind of, handles stuff like that. But I don't know. So that was how I got my first job at a Subway. And at that Subway, it took me a little while to fully learn everything, but there was some. But once I got the hang of it, there was this one guy who quit, and he was supposed to be the graveyard shift, and he had nobody to cover, so he was going to have to come in. And again, this was my first job, so I was like, okay, I'll be a nice little boy, and I'll go help him out, and I'll just cover the shift for him, see what I can do. And I cover the shift. So after that day, I became the graveyard guy, basically. But what's funny is that they never taught me anything about doing graveyard shift. So I'm just this brand new type of employee, never mopped a floor in my life, never, done all these types of maintenance type things that a graveyard person would do. I never cleaned a store detailed. So I'm like doing my job as best as I know how to do up to that point. And then he's just like, what the hell were you doing all last night? Reading a book? Nothing got done. And I'm like, what do you mean? You never told me anything to do. He's like, oh, you're supposed to do these things with the mop. I thought you just kind of fill it with water and then you dunk the mop in the bucket and then just spread the water on the floor. The more water, the better. Don't even add soap. Just the more water, the better. I didn't know there was soap that you put into the mop bucket. So I learned quite a bit after that, and I didn't know that you could take like the soda nozzles off the soda machine and clean them. I didn't know that you can turn the bane off. The bane is what we call the sandwich unit, where we have all the food to serve onto the sandwich. And I didn't know you could turn that off and clean it because otherwise it gets kind of frosty. And I was like, God, what the hell? I didn't know any of that. But I'm going to say hello to the chat in just a minute, guys, but I'm going to finish up this story a little bit. So as far as my first Subway that I worked at, there's not that many stories to tell, but there is a sort of major one and this was when I got robbed. So usually a typical robbing you'd think would be with a gun, like at gunpoint. Hey, give me all your money, or give me what you got and whatever, and that's it. Pretty direct, simple, type of robbery. But now this one was at around midnight, and we're a graveyard store, and it's open 24 hours. And what's funny is that I'm located right next to a police station. I was working right next to a police station where this was and where the robbing took place. And it's just so irrelevant that the police station's there because, I guess with what happens. But so I'm serving like 2 people that are here, that are in the store. And then this group of, I'm not joking, like around 15 just black dudes just all roll in. They just stroll in. They grab like a bunch of chips each, shove them in their faces, eating them, and then drop the bags on their way out. And I had $2 in the tip jar. They took that. I had a few gluten-free brownies. They took those, and they just kind of went in and walked out. Like this was all within less than 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes of time. And while I'm helping customers, and I kind of just let it happen because, when I told my coworkers afterward, they were like, "Oh, well, you should have said, hey, fuck you guys, we're gonna call the cops. Get out of here. You better stop messing around." And it's like, if there's 15 people in your store that are robbing you, I'm pretty sure saying, "Hey guys, I'm going to call the cops," is probably not going to do you very good. Or even if you went back to go and try to call the cops, it doesn't make any sense because they're right there. And it's like they could simply hop over the counter. It's not like the counter behind Subway is fortified or, protected very well. They could just pull a gun. "Hey, you want to call the cops?" Well, kablam, boom. Oh, shit. So it's like, and the fact that it was all specifically just one race, if this was all white dudes that came in or all something else, I would have thought, hey, it's a basketball team or something, but it's it was just all one race specifically. So I was just like, this must be a gang of some kind, and I don't want to be on their freaking radar. So I have no idea here. I'm just going to let them steal. They're only stealing chips. They haven't threatened me. So I'm just going to let them do it and not make a huge deal out of it. But it was such a weird experience because I've never been robbed like that before. They kind of tell you how to handle a gun robbery where they tell you what they want as to where guys that just roll in and just take stuff from your store. So I don't know. It's just a weird experience with that. And that was the only time I've been specifically robbed. But there are a few more stories I can tell where my coworkers have been robbed. But I'll get to that in just a second. I'm going to address the chat here. I'm going to get my glasses on. Well, now I'll bring up the chat on my phone. Hope everybody's having a good day. This is going to be a fun type of story stream. You guys in the chat, if you have some funny experiences you've had working retail or something, let me know down in the comments. We can have a good old conversation about it. I'll only get the chat up here. Just 1 second. All right, let me say hello. We got the script doctor in the house. I am liking this dude quite a bit. We just interacted on Twitter recently, and now I realize he has a YouTube channel as well, so give him a follow, and that'd be great. He says, "I promise I'm not stalking you, Bionic Belly Button. We just have similar interests." That's funny. You guys are talking. All right. We got Tommy in the house. Thanks, buddy. Tommy is he's like a phantom on everybody's streams. I just pop into a random stream. Somebody's live. I pop in. Tommy is always there. He's always there. And he's always a wrench, which I don't have him as a wrench on this because I don't know if he's come by my streams lately. I haven't streamed that often, but it's now there's going to be one stream, Tommy, that you're not the mod, okay? Maybe. Though you seem to be a good mod, though, so I might make you a mod. We'll see. And we got the Ancient One in the house. What's up, buddy? We got TC, the Mandalorian. How's it going? Says chicken kofta sounds good right now. I have no idea what that is. Kofta? I have no idea what kofta is. We got Tim Christ. I specifically tagged you on Twitter to come to the stream because he is pretty much the only other person that I know of on YouTube that or on Twitter that works at a Subway. So we have that in common. I think he discovered that in a chat one time or something. I don't know if it was on a live stream or somebody else's live stream. We're in a chat and he's like, "Hey, I work at Subway too. Subway bros." Boom, fist pump. So that's pretty funny. And then Mandalorian says, "Oh, come on, Rook. You never saw an all-white gang." Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. I never saw an all-white gang, but I'm saying that if one were to have come in, then I would have been equally as freaked out because I'd be like, why specifically are there 15 all-white dudes just walking in here? I mean, in this situation, it was 15 all only black dudes. But it's like, if there was some type of mix of people, then I would have thought that it was like a basketball game or a big group of friends hanging out. But because it was just one, I'm just like, is this a gang? Like, what the hell is this? I've just never seen that because I've only seen mixed groups of people, like mixed in, really. There's never usually just one, unless there's like 4 people, then yeah, there's like one race. But it's like, I don't know, this made me jump to, okay, this must be a gang. I have no idea. And the Ancient One says, and pistols can be concealed, so there's the possibility to likely be shot by one of them if they'd be armed. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it was a big mix of people, though, of them. So like some of them looked like they could totally kick my ass. Some looked like I could possibly take them. Others looked like they spend every day and night at the gym, and I shouldn't ever do anything to cross them. 2 of them looked pretty crazy. The other, like, most of them looked normal, but still, they just had that look of like, we're fucking getting in here, get the hell out of our way. And I was just like, yeah, I guess I'll just let that kind of happen then. Yeah, and so Phelan Reacts is in here as well. What's up, Phelan? We're going to do a John Wick stream actually right after this. So I'll be setting that up for 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's going to be like an hour after this. I don't plan on doing this type of stream for too long. I only have some stories to share here. I don't think I want to spill all the Subway beans quite yet. I don't know if Subway has beans in some locations. Some locations probably do. But I'm pretty sure you guys probably want to hear like a more crazier story, kind of a more crazy ones, or like a stupid customers. I mean, customers are always really stupid, right? I mean, sometimes, it bless their hearts. I mean, they try to be as good as they can, but sometimes there's just the few that are like, what in the Sam hell is wrong with you? One of my favorite ones to go to is this guy that flipped out on me over olives. It was Christmas Eve. It was like 3 minutes to closing on Christmas Eve. Sometimes I usually actually will lock the door, like just like a minute or two before the actual time, so that just because there could be that last person that comes in, and it's just like, you bastard, you're just gonna make me late now, god damn. So it was like 3 minutes to close, and like 3 people come in, and they're all separate, so I had to deal with all of them. They're gonna make me late, but whatever. The point, like, I could have dealt with it because we get off early on Christmas Eve, and then you're not open on Christmas Day, so we don't prep as much food. And so we were out of olives by that point. And by the end of Christmas Eve, we're out of olives. And he's just like, no olives, no olives. What the fuck is this shit? What is going on here? Oh my God. Fuck you. Hey, I should get my sandwich for free. Fuck that shit. And he's just like pissed. He's like pacing. He's throwing a tantrum because he got a 6-inch sandwich and he got like everything on it, but I'm out of olives, and he was just not having it. It was crazy. He was going psychopath. The customers behind him were just like, God damn, this dude is mental. And he was like, this sandwich should be free because there is no olives. I mean, I got all this meat and all these other things on it and bread and everything, but because there's no olives, which Subway only wants you to put like 3 olive pieces on there anyway, but I'm generous. We usually give like double that, maybe a pinch full or so, but we're out of olives. So it's like, dude, calm the hell down. For you to freak out over olives not being on your sandwich, you either must have the best life in the entire world where like you've never encountered a problem and this is the first roadblock in what you want ever, so you're like just baffled by it, or you've had the worst day ever where like you just have all this straw built up on your back, and then it's just you just wanted to go to Subway and then get your cares away, and you just wanted to have that little bitty taste of olives, and then the evil Subway man doesn't have any olives, so you just that's the last straw, and then you gotta flip the hell out on it. I don't know, it was it was so stupid. But okay, there's some more stories of stupid customers, and this one was actually not that long ago. This was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. 2 or 3 months ago where this one happened. It was a normal night for me. I've worked at Subway for a few years now, so it's not like big lines are not a huge deal for me because I just know how to handle them now. I'm fast enough. I know the job well enough. I literally do it in my sleep. Like when I'm making a sandwich for people, I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing. I'm literally thinking about like either my homework, or I'm thinking about a movie idea, or thinking about a movie, or I'm thinking about a video idea I can make for YouTube, or a skit or something. Thinking about other things. Some girls sometimes, especially there's a lot of hot girls that come in there sometimes, so. But anyway, so there's this dude that comes in, and so this line starts to form right after this mom comes in to get 4 sandwiches. Now, handling 4 sandwiches at once is easy enough. I mean, it's annoying when they get something different on each of the 4 sandwiches, and like, okay, this one's toasted, this one, they each have a different cheese and all these things, because then you have to remember more of what they're saying, and it slows down the pace a little bit. So as I'm pretty much on the vegetables of all these 4 sandwiches, like 5 or 6 more people come in. So now I got like a big line. And it's like, okay, so I finish this lady up, and she's fine. And then I start the next person, and they also want like 4 sandwiches. And I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. I can do 4 sandwiches again, no problem. But this lady is like just completely being, I'm just going to say a bitch, because like, you know, she's telling me what she wants, but she's just telling me really fast all these 4 things. She's like, I want a footlong on wheat, a footlong on white, a footlong on herbs and cheese, and another one on herbs and cheese. And I want a ham, a turkey, a steak, and no, I want one of them to be a tuna, and then I want cheddar cheese on the. She's like telling me the whole list at like before I've even washed my hands to start her thing. And I asked her to repeat some stuff, and then she's just like, what? Well, I told you once, and. I'm like, well, sorry, I can't just remember every single thing that you told me. I mean, fuck. And then I'm like, okay, but fine, I can make it. You know, when you work at retail for a while, or I don't know if this counts as retail, but, you know, behind the counter helping customers, like, you learn to put the smile on and go, okay, that's no problem. And what if they give you an attitude, you just kind of ignore their attitude and like, well, you talk to them kind of like a baby, actually, like, well, I'm just trying to make you as happy as possible, you know, and trying to make you happy, customer, because if I don't, then I'm going to be kind of screwed here. And if I'm talking very polite, then you have no reason to complain. And so I get her going, and she's just bitchy the whole time, and I get her done. But then the issue with this whole story right here is what happens next. So like up to this point, like this is almost a normal thing that happens. Like with the bitchy customer, I mean, that's kind of a normal thing that we go through a lot. But then after that, so while I was making her sandwiches, there's this Russian dude on his phone, and I get to him after I made her sandwiches. You know, this was a good like, you know, few minutes, and he's still on his phone, and there's people behind him as well. And like, he just saw me get through helping somebody with a big order. So it's like, he had plenty of time to have been on his phone and then be done and be ready to order. You know, that's what normal people would do. And then I'm like, hey, so what can I get you? You know, what kind of, you know, ask, you know, what kind of sandwich do you want? What kind of bread? And he's just like, like he said something in Russian, and I have no idea what he said. I'm like, did he literally just tell me the order in Russian? Like, I guess I look Russian. I have no idea. I'm just like, what? Can you tell me that again? And he's just like, you know, the white bread. Okay, cool. I'll get the white bread for you. Footlong or 6-inch. He doesn't make any sense, but he gives kind of emotion with his hands, you know, for the footlong. Like, okay, cool. Footlong. All right. Get that down. Okay, it's going to be easy enough. Okay. As long as he gives me some type of visuals or something, then I guess I'll understand him. But now that's the last time he gives me any visuals. Then he starts... then I'm like, okay, so what kind of meat do you want? When it's somebody with a different language, I ask what kind of meat, because when I say what kind of sandwich, they look at me like I'm crazy, because I have no idea. They think that I'm asking a different type of question. Like, what specific meat do you want on here? And so he says clearly ham. He says ham. And then, but he's pointing at roast beef. And I'm like, no, okay, so you want the ham. The ham is over here. You're saying ham, but you're pointing at roast beef, so you probably want the ham. But no, you're pointing at the roast beef then. Okay, so you want the roast beef. He's like, no. And he's pointing at the roast beef, telling me, no, he does not want the roast beef. And I'm like, okay, so the next thing to that was like the steak. You know, okay, so you want the steak, because that sometimes looks like beef to people. So I'm like, all right. And he's like, no, ham. And he's still saying ham while he's pointing at the wrong foods. And I don't know about you guys, but that is like a logic loop for a robot or something, where it's like you're saying one thing and you're not making any sense. Like, you're telling me that green is blue and that the sky is green and the floor, like the grass is blue. You're not making any sense. What are you doing? And so, like, at some point, I think I just kind of put the meat that I think he wants on there, and I don't even care if he was upset or not. I think he actually wanted a turkey. We kept on saying ham and pointing at the roast beef and steak. It really pissed me off. But then I'm like, okay, so cheese. What kind of cheese do you want? Then, usually pepper jack goes on like a steak or something, but you got the ham, the cheddar, and like American cheese are the typical ones that go in there, unless you like it spicy, and the pepper jack, of course. And so, okay, we get the cheese down, that's fine. We get it toasted, that's fine. And then to the veggies, fuck me. He's like still on his phone while he's trying to do this order too. So like as I'm trying to talk to him, he's talking in Russian on the phone. I'm like, okay, but you're here ordering now. You got a line behind you. Fucking hell, dude, can you help me get through this faster? Now, usually people that don't know English very well will like point at what they want, and that's usually good enough. And like I'll say it out loud and point to it myself, and they usually nod in approval or say no and point at the next one again. And you usually get there, you hold your hand and you get them through it and everything, and then you end up at the line and you're done. But it's like with this guy, I swear he's like just fucking with me. Like he must have been fucking with me, because I don't understand even. So he's saying, like, he's not saying much to me during this transaction anymore. He's talking on his phone only. But then he's like pointing at tomatoes, and he points at tomatoes. Then I point at the tomatoes too, and he's like, no. He says no, and he points at the same exact spot. And I'm like, well, I guess he's pointing at the lettuce that's next to it, and he's like, no, pointing no, and pointing at it again. And I'm just like, God, this dude must be fucking with me. Seriously. Like, you can't be this retarded. And I guess eventually I don't know how the hell I got through that sandwich, but like with him pointing at something and I'm trying to get his approval on it and he's nodding no. I don't know how the hell I got through that, but I did, and rung him up and everything. And then the next lady in line, she's like, I want to get 12 Subway gift cards. And do you guys know how annoying it is to like apply gift cards? Like you have to do it one at a time. So she wanted to get like $10 gift cards for like, 12 people. So I have to go, okay, you want to put $10 on this one gift card and then swipe, and then that transaction's done. Then you got to put $10 on this next one, and then swipe, and that transaction's done. It's like you have to do this 12 times now, and you have to do it separately. Because you can't like just have them swipe massively or something, putting it in $10 times 12 cards, and then she just swipe. That would have been nice, but no. So I had to go through that, and this took a little longer than I would have liked, of course. And so now I've got like irritated customers in line, and there a couple more people came in too. So it's like I said, it's a steady line now that I have, and the line would be moving fast. Here's a little Subway secret. So it's like, the line pretty much moves as fast as the customer allows it. So like if the customer knows exactly what they want and they're ready to respond to the Subway employee on what they want on their sandwich, this line is going to move by very fast. If the customer is stalling or not sure about stuff, then the Subway line is going to move by kind of slow, because the employee can't do anything until you tell them to do something. So that's pretty much how that works. So if you're in a huge Subway line, blame the customer, not the employee, because the employee can actually get through it pretty fast, but it depends on, how much and, how fast the customer can tell you. I mean, that's my opinion anyway, but that's just from what I've noticed. And then after that person with gift cards, then the next person was angry with me, and he's like with his wife or girlfriend or something, and it was a couple, and they're just getting like 2 6-inches each, and that's fine, like that's all good. But he's just like, okay, so he wanted like a teriyaki, she wanted a rotisserie style chicken. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then he's just fucking with me this whole time, like deliberately on purpose. You can tell he's fucking with me on this, because he's just like, hey, can I get extra cheese for free? I'm like, no. And then he's just like, okay, well, can I get extra meat on there for free? I'm like, no. Can I get ham on there for free? No. And I'm like, okay, well, do you want it toasted? What cheese? Okay, can we? I'm like trying to kind of ignore him being a dick and just move on with it. But he's like everything, and then he's like, hey, so how's it feel working at Subway? And but it's like, okay, that type of question wouldn't bother me, but it's like I'm obviously in a line. The customers in front of him were obviously being kind of slow and annoying with it. So it's like, that's not exactly the conversation you have. I mean, a simple conversation I usually start up is like, hey, so how's that weather out there? Oh, it's raining pretty hard. Oh, it's a cold day, right? You got a jacket? Good. Don't drown. It's raining so hard. You bring a life jacket? You row here? Some stupid type of casual type of interaction. Or hey, to see any movies recently? And if they haven't, then I can mention a movie. And it's that simple conversation while your like bread is toasting, while your sandwich is toasting. It's only in there for like 15, 20 seconds anyway. So that's the kind of thing. He's like, oh, I have to feel working at Subway. I'm like, it's fine. And he's just like, oh, well, that's a nice enough question, sure. But then it's just like, so did you ever steal anything while working at a Subway? I'm just like, I did not want to talk to this guy at all by this point. And so I'm starting to get to the vegetables now with their sandwiches. And then the girlfriend starts to be a bitch around me. And it's like, oh, fucking A. Like this is the only like type of scenario where I was just so annoyed at a Subway. Like it's really sometimes just the type of customer interactions you get that are bad, that just are the most annoying part. Other than that, like it's not a huge problem. It's not that tough of a job to complain about, but it's just dealing with certain people and all in a row can be annoying. And so I'm helping the lady now this time, helping his girlfriend, and she is just picky as hell. I'm like, okay, so what do you want? She's like, I want everything on there. I'm like, okay, no problem. She's like, except for jalapenos. I'm like, okay, I got you. Everything but jalapenos. Boom. So then I start doing that. Then she's like, don't put onions on there. And I'm like, you just said everything but jalapenos. And she's like, but I don't want onions either. And I'm like, well, okay, so is there anything else you don't want on there? It's like, no, I think it's fine. And then I grabbed for banana peppers, the mild peppers, wax peppers, pepperoncinis. There's like 1,000 names for those things. And I grabbed for those. And she's like, oh, are those spicy? I don't want those on there. I'm like, no, ma'am. They're mild. They're sweet. They're not spicy. They're nothing like a jalapeno. She's like, I don't know about that. I don't want them on there. Don't put those on there. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I'm going to put some olives on there. And then she's like, I put a good pinchful on there, which, you're not really supposed to put that much on there. See, olives cost a lot, and that's why they only want you to put a certain amount on a sandwich, because that goes with their inventory. If you had 50 people and they all got extra olives, that adds up into costing you on the inventory, But I mean, sometimes it's to make the customer happy. They come in more. So in a way, there's a balance sometimes. But this lady wanted like 3 handfuls of olives on there, and she's like, I thought all the veggies were free. I'm like, well, technically, but I mean, that's only really in applying to the formula that you have. I mean, we're supposed to put, as far as tomatoes go, like people would say 6 is the amount, but that's incorrect. It's how many tomatoes you can lay across. So if you have a good batch of tomatoes that are really big, then you can lay 4 across one sandwich, or 3 if they're huge. But I mean, that wouldn't make any sense, or if like you had 2, you cut them in half if they're huge, and, I could go across the whole thing easy. But I'm getting off topic a little bit with that. But anyway, inventory is a huge thing. So it's just like, I can put like, 2 pinchfuls on here. That's like, at least 5 times the normal amount that we put on a sandwich for you. So you're freaking welcome, bitch. And I didn't say that. Of course, the customer, I was like, this is pretty much about as much as I can put on there for you. She just like rolls her eyes. Ugh. I'm like, all right, okay, shit. Oh, you guys are so annoying. And like, again, as I'm wrapping it up, he's like, how much are the cookies? Hey, you should just give them to us for free. You said, but I don't know. He's like, you should get us those for free. Hey, how about, that meal deal? How about instead of getting chip and a drink, I just get 2 drinks? I'm just like, I can't do that because it's not how you ring up in the register. Like a couple years ago, I would sometimes go against the rules and like give them things that they're not supposed to. But I've learned, I'm just like, no, like I don't want to do that anymore. Like I don't want to just support them for being stupid. Like, so I don't want to give them what I'm just going to do my job right here. I'm just going to, because if you give them too much leeway, they'll expect it. So it's like, no, I'm not giving you the deal for that. You get the chip and a drink and you'll be happy, or you don't get anything at all. And I don't care. Like, okay, so then those people are done. And this is all within the same day, guys. This was like all within like, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of customers, like, all right in a line behind each other. I'm going to address you guys in just a minute. I'm almost done with this section of this story. And so then there's one more customer after them that annoyed me. And then there's finally like a person of sanity after all this. But so this next person comes up and okay, so she wanted a wrap, a Subway wrap. And a wrap is basically like a burrito, but at Subway, it's a new thing we got a couple months ago. And it's actually a pretty good thing. It's got, the meat of a foot long, the portion that would go on a foot long, but it like wraps up into a 6-inch. So, that's a lot of meat on a little thing there. So yeah, it could fill you up pretty good. And she wanted guacamole, and I was going to give her guacamole, sure. But she wanted 3 times the amount of guacamole that you put on there. And I only had enough, guacamole for like, 1 scoop, which is how much goes on a wrap anyway. And I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't put any more on there for you. And she's like, you don't have any more guacamole? You don't have any more guacamole? What the just like the olive guy was just furious that I couldn't put more on there. I didn't have any more in the back or anything. This was different than the other time. The other time we didn't prep because we had Christmas the next day. We were going to be closed. This time we just ran out of stock because so many people went through guacamole that week, and we're getting a whole bunch. And I was like, well, I have guacamole for you now. I gave you the 1 scoop, which was the last that I have. And she's just like, well, get some more. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, I said I'm out. Now, do you really expect me to magically just spawn guacamole here? Like, do you want me to just spawn it out of thin air? Like, I'll use my magical Subway genie powers, and I'll just summon guacamole and make that come on here. Like, are you I don't understand people that, like, when you say you're out of something and then they insist that you get them what you said you're out of. I don't understand how their mind works, because that makes no goddamn sense at all. It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid. But then that's not even all of it. So then, even before that, she wanted quadruple meat on her wrap. She was like, I know that it gets extra meat on there because that's what it does. It gets, instead of 1 scoop of meat or 1 portion of meat, you get 2, which is fine. But that's how much pretty much goes on there. But there's like a specific rule where you're not supposed to put a deluxe amount of meat or double meat or any of that on a wrap, because it's supposed to wrap and fold. If you put too much on there, then it does not wrap at all. It does not wrap properly, especially if you're going to add more veggies and sauce and stuff onto it. Then it really screws up the whole wrap there. So, she wanted quadruple meat steak. What the? And God, this bitch did not need to eat any more steak like that. Jesus Christ. Like that feeds like a family right there. Like 4 portions of steak is like what you feed to 4 kids. Like that's, and that could, 2 adults or something. Like, you don't need that much meat on your 1 6-inch wrap here. Like, that's not how that works. Like, you don't need it. You just don't need it. Okay. And she's like, no, you gotta do this. I'm the customer. I'm requesting this. And I'm like, well, yeah, but like, we literally have a rule where we do not put that amount on here, because then like this will not roll up at all. And if you've seen our wraps, then you'll know that's true. Or if you've ever made a burrito yourselves, you'll know that that's like impossible. Like you can't wrap it. So she was furious with me for not being able to do that for her. I stood my ground. I'm like, bitch, I'm right this time. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just how that happens. I'm following the rules given to me by the Subway people that I work for, which I'm not going to go against them over you. So I was like, all right. So after that, all the crazy people were done. Like, all the crazies were done finally, thank God. And the last person in line was this lady who I think is a owner of a store nearby or something. And she was just like, she's pretty good looking too, by the way. But she was like, my God, those people were fucking assholes. I was like, yes, thank you, God, I can vent now a little bit. Shit. And she was just like, well, like, she was very simple with how she wanted her thing. I'm like, thank you, that's good. She was a normal customer. Like, wow, normal people exist again. I forgot for a minute. And she's just like, God, those people are just ridiculous with you. I don't understand what she was like. Can you believe those characters? It was almost like this was a skit of some kind. I'm like, this would have been a hilarious skit, and I actually talked about my YouTube channel a little bit there, which I don't usually do with customers, but I was like, telling her a little bit about that, and I was okay. And then we get to the end. She tipped me $12, guys. Tipped me $12. I was like, fuck yes. Like, so there was that slight benefit of the dumbasses that came before her. I got a good tip. And for Subway, $12 tip is like $1 million. Like, I was a millionaire for that $12 tips with the person. And I was like, God, like, so it was annoying, but that was just that was 20 minutes, like 15 minutes of time. I think 15 minutes is more accurate. It was like 15 minutes of time with these just such stupid people. In my head, I was like, did a retarded convention get out of here? And by that, I don't mean special needs. I mean just people that are stupid. Is there something in the water that is making people dumber every day? I don't know. But I'm going to go back to the chat and see who's coming on in here. Sorry that took a little while to get through that story. I've got plenty more, guys. I only told like 2 or 3 stories so far. So there's plenty more in town. So let's see. So the script doctor says customers giving a disorganized order, been there in high school and college, don't miss those days. Yeah, lucky brother. And then says service jobs are good or great practice for acting. That's a good point. I think that's where that's where like I want to be a filmmaker. So and when I first got hired there, I had no experience, and Subways usually hire people that have experience because they don't want to really train you that much. But the only experience I had was customer service, and that was just from being a good person. And like when I first got hired at my first Subway, I was like, "Hi, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Subway. How can I help you? I can make your sandwich, no problem." Like, and even though like I wasn't skilled at making a sandwich at the time when I first started, like my customer service was the best in the store. I was just like, "Hi guys, how you doing? Oh, you having a bad day? Oh, that's okay. We're gonna make your day better at Subway." Like I'll just make customers smile and try to make them smile, or like even I'll tell another story in a minute. And I got a John Wick stream after this. I'm probably gonna take like a 15-minute break after I'm done with this, and then do a John Wick stream. And if people want to join that, let me know. But let me go back to the chat again real quick. So Classic Glue Productions is in the house. What's up? We got the Ancient One again. He says, if it was Big Smoke from Grand Theft Auto Andreas, the rookie critic, it be even worse. He'll attempt to give you the most complex order ever imagined. Yeah, probably. The TC from The Mandalorian says, you should have told her you were sorry. Some tough stirring theory equations going on in your head, and you felt the cusp of a Nobel Prize thought. Exactly. I love his next comment. And Mandalorian says, it's Lucasfilm logic. Makes perfect sense. Exactly. Yeah, Classic Glue's production. You guys, you know what? I'm going to do something pretty soon with Classic Glue's production, because, he made, like, the name might fool you on to thinking of what his type of content is, but he's actually pretty well, or I don't know if he's well known, but he's been in the film business. So I'm going to get with him soon, and I'm going to have a live stream with him, and I'm going to talk to him about that. I'm going to interview him about that. So it's pretty interesting, because when I did my Jessica Alba video, well, he said he was freaking in one of those movies. And I'm like, what? Like, an actor is in our community, and like is just like casually, yeah, I was in a movie with Jessica Alba, whatever. I'm like, what the hell? So I'll talk with him on that pretty soon. And let's see. So the Mandalorian again says, I'm going to take all the info you're giving me and go to Subway right now. Well, I hope so. Just try to not reenact the same story that I just told you, because that customer would have a hard time. Though if you do, have somebody videotape it, because I feel like that would be great online material. If somebody had a camera videotaping this stuff happening when I was doing it, you guys would have had a field day laughing at that for sure. The Shellback TC here. What's up, dude? He says, confirmed. Rookie blames the victim, a.k.a. the customer. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not in every case. Like, a lot of times there are stupid employees that are doing dumb things. But it's like when an employee is following the rules given to them by the management that they work for, and the customer is wanting you to go against that, technically the employee's in the right here, not the customer. That's my philosophy. So it's like, I'm not going to lose my job over what you want. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm sorry. That's how I kind of see that. And Tommy's like, sup, turtle? And let's see. Mandalorian says, you should have said you love all the chicks you pick up working there. I have not actually tried to pick up on a chick that's walked in the Subway, because there is kind of this employee customer thing that you're just not supposed to do. That's like, they're there to get something, and like, you're not supposed to flirt with them. I mean, I can't say if I don't flirt or not, but I'm not supposed to actually be like, hey, so here's my number, baby. And that would be kind of funny if I slipped one in their sandwich bag. I mean, that's not the same thing as just saying, hey, you want to go out? But it's like, hey, it's up to you to decide if you want to talk to me. But, we'll see. I do have some tales of some women in Subway, though, as well. And Phelan reacts is laughing at the Mandalorian there. And Classic Review says, that is when you ask another associate to take over for you. No, see, I cannot ask another associate to take over for me, because I was working alone. So at my store, not the graveyard shift. At this store, I was closing shift, because this one was not 24 hours. And for about a good 4 or 5 hours, I'm pretty much by myself. And they don't always do that to employees. Sometimes there'll be another employee with you for an extra 2 hours or so. And then you're only by yourself for a shorter amount of time. But like, I'm skilled enough to be by myself and handle stuff. So that's pretty much what happened with that. Let's see. The Ancient One says somehow the rookie critic, something that night felt rather really off. Yeah, I know, like something in the water, or like there's a dumbass convention and everybody just got out at the same time and came to Subway to eat. I don't get it. I don't know. The Bionic Belly Button says the only thing you stole at Subway is hearts. Aw, thank you, Bionic. I appreciate that. We got Rev Kev in the chat. Says, hey, everyone. Got drawing for the fun of it. Says he loves stories like this. Thanks, buddy. Shellback says, hey, Belly. Hey, Belly Wiley, Banana Fan for Belly. And Tommy's there. Says, yeah, Rev Kev, what's up, guys? Everybody saying hi to each other. People coming in. I hope everybody's having a great morning. I hope that these stories are making you feel good about your day or your job or something. Or hearing the rookie's misery from working with Subway was pretty bad. But, it's actually not that bad now. Like, I actually kind of like working at Subway, but it's just the only thing that I would consider annoying is that I'm trying to do school, work, and YouTube and my real life. So it's like that balance is kind of tough, but I am thankful for the job that I do have because it is very close to me. Like, it's close to where I live, and it's like, like I know the job so well that I don't have to learn a bunch of new skills. Like, it's the back of my hand. I don't have to think about it at all. I just go in. And as I'm making your sandwich, I'm not thinking about making the sandwich. I'm thinking about a video I can make, or I'm thinking about a cute girl that I've seen or something. Like, that's the thoughts that are going through my mind. I'm not thinking about, hey, I'm making your sandwich and I hope it's great. Like, it's already going to be great by default because I'm making it. That's how it works. I am a Subway god. I am a sandwich king. You cannot defeat me. Which, by the way, if you guys have not ever seen my National Subway video, my National Sandwich Day video, that was one of my first 40 videos that I ever made before I had any subscribers. I had like 7 subscribers from Facebook, basically, at that time. And that was when I was first doing skits at all. I was trying to do Nostalgia Critic style skits, kind of. And, I made one where on National Sandwich Day, my Jeff character, Jeffro, who's the Subway worker, is like granted these powers. He gets power on National Sandwich Day. And the rest of the Jeff squad, the other Jeffs that I have, were kind of picking on him. But then when he gets the powers, he's like got the force and he can he can do some damage. So I make him like have this inspirational speech, like, another one of our stores closed down today, and we lost almost half our employees. And, we will show this town what a Subway employee with cause is capable of. Like, just like going full on Oscar right there back then. And it's just so funny because I had no feedback from anybody at the time on how I was acting. So that was pretty fun to do back then. And I'm probably going to repost that, like at least a few clips from it on Twitter or something so people can see it if they want, because it's freaking great. Like, think Leonidas, but with Subway. That's kind of the goal. And okay, Snowdub, music and entertainment is in the house. What is up, my friend? He is going to get with me soon, and he's going to teach me how to rap to a beat. Because, like, apparently I've got some decent rapping skills, so good that's going to send you some chills. But I have no idea how the hell to match a rap to a beat. Like, I can play a beat, and I'm like, how are the words that I'm saying, how are they supposed to, like, go with it? Like, how are they supposed to flow? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, like, I just put a beat behind my words and it sounds like crap. I'm like, yeah, something's going over here, something rhymes over there, and then another rhyme, another line, and blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, boom, 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 boom. It's just completely off with the beat. So Snowdub's gonna be my master at that pretty soon. Let's see, we got Alex like triggered. Yes, I know. Phelan, yeah, definitely. That too much guacamole. Yep. I don't know. Guacamole is actually okay. I'm a picky eater, and I used to think that I hated guacamole, but then I tried it on one of my sandwiches once, and I actually kind of liked it. I'm a very picky eater, but I liked guacamole. And when I added that, I was like, I thought I was going to hate it because it looked kind of gross to me, but it tasted pretty good. But I'll admit, though, I don't like to have too much of it because too much moisture or something on my sandwich with bread, and it just does not taste good to me. That's why I don't get sauces on my sandwiches, because I don't like the moisture taste with the bread. I have no idea what's wrong with me, but I just don't like to have a wet sandwich. So I got a dry sandwich. And let's see here, going down a little bit more. And the Mandalorian says, so you gave her a foot long of tube steak in a Jimmy wrap and magically summoned a Mayo Facial. Pretty much. I like the way you worded that. Well put. And we got a Shellback says the rookie is fat shaming. Grr. Well, no, I'm fat too, so it's okay. Fat people can say that to each other. That's totally fine. We got Snowda Music and Entertainment with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Says, some money towards your retirement from Subway. Much love to the rookie critic and all he does for everyone's channels. Hail, gender check, fatties. I appreciate that very much, man. And yeah, I got a lot more shorts coming out to help some more channels soon on the Fandom Collective channel next week. This week, I'm going to try to actually catch up on my math notes because I just took an exam the other day and I think I did okay on it, but I think I could have probably done pretty bad. The first half was easy. I know I passed the first half of the exam. Second half, boy, I don't know. It started to get kind of iffy, when you got like 3 or 4 fractions in an equation and they're like, mostly variables and you're supposed to do the LCD thing and then factor it out. It's simple enough to do the concept of the formula, but then once you're like applying it, sometimes it gets really jumbled crap. So not the best, but anyway, I appreciate that. I do plan to eventually leave. I mean, if I end up making enough on live streaming at some point on YouTube channel while I can go to school and pursue being a film director, then hell yeah, I'd leave. But until then, it is going to be my main money stake place. And we got the Flibbity flipped out in the chat. Says, yo, rookie, what's up? Hey, man, how's it going? Hope that your day's going well, man. I liked your video that you put out the other day, giving some people a shout out as Ronaldo and George Lucas. Freaking Ronaldo is my favorite character that Flipped Out does. He and I both do skits, and he and I both do characters. So I love his Ronaldo one, definitely. And let's see who else is down in here and what y'all are doing. Shellback says no class today. Belly college is tough though. I'll be glad when it's over. Yeah, same here, brother. Same here. I'm giving you a fist bump, chest bump, kissing my 2 fingers and peace sign is what I'm doing right there. I feel you. And all right, more people coming on in. Hope you guys are having a good morning once again. I'll do one more story. I'll just do one more story today. And if you guys want to see more Subway stories or more, stories in general like this, then put a 1 in the chat. And because after this, I'm going to do a John Wick stream. And if anybody wants to come into that, again, let me know because I think I only have 1 person approved, and that's Phelan. And, I don't mind bringing like 2 or 3 more people in on there to help out, because I just saw it last night. So that shall be fun. The Mandalorian says, $12 tip. You held something back from your story. You gotta give extra service. No. So, what I said in the story was that she is like the owner of another store in the area. She's a franchise owner of one of the stores. And if you guys don't know this, store owners, when they go to a retail place, they go to a fast food place, they usually feel sympathy for the employee working if you have a good attitude and there's crappy customers. So and if you give good service, they're likely to tip you like a minimum $5 is usually what they will tip. I mean, I've kind of noticed that. I have some more tales from my graveyard shift one at my first Subway of a lot of business owners that were bar owners that would come in and they would tip me like $20. Like, dude, it was freaking great. So let's go down here a little bit more. Monic Belly Button says, you'll get a holiday break soon enough, right? Even when you're not there, you have homework, etc. Though I feel you. You see, I would agree with you on that. I appreciate the concern, but no, we don't really get holiday breaks. We just for school, we don't usually have school during the holidays except for like Thanksgiving, but we do get Thanksgiving off, which that'll be like the one school day I'll get off for. Otherwise, where I'd normally go to school, so I'll have that off. But as far as work goes, like we don't work on the holidays, but we don't get like anything around it off. So usually they're kind of stingy on who gets to take which days off on those holidays. So who knows? Let's see. Classic Glue says, what experience do you need to make a sandwich? Well, it's not really making sandwich experiences, but it's like handling the money, being alone in the store and handling customers and situations. There's certain things to clean that, you have to kind of know what you're doing to not hurt yourself sometimes. You have to know how to handle food and prep food because it is handling food. And that is something that, health people are concerned with quite a bit. If you, pick your nose and you like just don't put the gloves on or wash your hands and you touch the food, like you're an idiot and you're, spreading the germs around. So they want some type of experience from you before you come in. So you don't have to know the formula. And that's kind of thing too. It's the formula there's, like over a dozen sandwiches you have to know how to make and know how to answer their questions and all that, and how to cut the bread and everything. They don't want to teach you anything. So usually they'll look for employees that already have the experience, but sometimes they'll make an exception and actually teach somebody brand new. But that's how that goes. The Mandalorian says, Rook, if you are getting $12 tips, then maybe you can go home. Maybe you can do home deliveries. I can be your, I think I get the gist of what he's saying here. So Rook, if you're getting $12 tips, then maybe you can do home deliveries. I can be your driver/manager. You can provide the footlongs. I'll bank the money for a small fee. I see what you're doing, man. We could set up a small little side business, call it the side subway stash or something, something like that. Phelan says, it's good you tried to make their days better. The Rookie Critic. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to give some customers some uplifting stuff, because there's some some people will come in and I'm like, oh, hey, how's your day going? And then they're just like, my mom died. And I'm like, well, what kind of bread do you want? Maybe it's like, oh my God, it just makes it so awkward, because that's where you start the whole, before you even start making the sandwich, it's, oh, their mom just died, so they're not in a good place, and I'm trying to ask them questions about their stupid sandwich. God, that's so awkward. And it's like, now I feel bad, but I don't know what to do. Should I actually try to talk to them? Should I try to make them laugh, tell a joke, or am I just gonna look like an asshole trying to make them laugh? I don't know. But I just try to make their sandwich for them, and I can't go, well, your mom's dead, but maybe this cheddar cheese on your sandwich will make it feel really good. Like, no, that's not how that works. Not how that works at all. And let's see. It says, beware, Plankton might try that recipe. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Boom. Fanseen Vids is in here. What's up, my friend? He's the Knight Ambassador of the Fandom Collective of the High Command. Hail, my friend. He's been doing awesome promotions for people lately. Check him out. Give him a follow. Give him a sub. And he says, my mom was a Subway manager for 20 years. I can relate. Jesus Christ. Oh, that'll be my last story. I'll tell you guys how I thought that I was going to own a Subway. I'm just going to try to blaze through the chat real quick, and I'll get right back to the last story before we do the John Wick stream in just 20 minutes. Let's see. So the Ancient One says, Rookie Critic is the director and I am the producer, and we'll get some actors and actresses to make some awesome movies, man. We'll recruit people like Mary Mayhem and Kiki Candy to make crazy films. Well, dude, that's kind of the thing here. I'm currently working on my next big project that I'm going to try to start filming by February of 2020. That's my date to start filming. I've already gathered most of my cast. I still have some people I need to find, of course, for my cast, but I'm working on the script for it right now, and I'm trying to get exactly what's going to happen. And once the script is done, which that should be done before February of 2020, I'm hoping to start filming before that, really. But then I'm going to really be trying to launch that project, and it's going to be the biggest freaking thing I've ever done before, and really try to do hands-on directing with people. I'm going to try to call them up and coach them on how I want them to do the scene, and make sure they know how to film it, and that their audio is good and that they can send the files okay. Because before, there's sometimes some issues with that stuff, but I'm going to really try to walk people through it and make them feel good, because I don't think anybody's ever done this type of movie before, this type of project. I feel like I'm the only one that's tried to do this huge collaborative movie with other YouTubers from different locations that literally are not in the same shot at all. I feel like that's something that YouTube would do more, and that would make more sense. But the closest I've seen is the Nostalgia Critic, or sometimes he and he'll do a review with other people, but that are in different locations. That's pretty much the closest that's ever happened with that. And they do their skits, of course, but it's actually, I'm starting to see how hard it is to stay on topic, even when you're by yourself. Because I think I was supposed to tell my story 15 minutes ago. Hold on, I'm going to cough real quick. I'm going to mute the microphone. You don't need to hear that. All right. Going down the line real quick. Yeah, Tommy again. Shellback's like, this is Subway. Yeah, pretty much. Here, now that I actually have a lot of people here, I wanted to share with, I don't know if all you guys saw my intro that I made for live streams, but I made a live stream intro, and I'll just skip right to the story in a sec. Okay, yes, put a lot of ones in there. Sweet, I'll do more stories like this. 19K Fox is in the chat. What's up, my friend? Red the gays, the reddest of the gays, has entered the chat. I guess I've forgiven him now. I guess I forgive him. He showed something very ridiculous on one of his live streams that made me want to slice my eyes out of my brain. But I guess I forgive him. Enough time has passed. I've healed. Mongo's big thanks. Oh, shit. That's what I should do. Well, let me see. Okay. I keep on changing my mind on what I'm going to do immediately. So I'll just do this real quick. So, all right. I don't have my good camera on. I don't have my Logitech plugged in. But Mongo's big thanks is one of my patrons. Big shout out to him and all my other patrons as well, which that's supposed to be part of my trying to shout out my patrons a little more because I have 6 patrons now. I got Christy Miller, I've got Tariel G, Abio Lace, got those 2 bald guys, Tito's World, and Mongo's Big Thanks. And Mongo's Big Thanks is the first person other than Black Angus Reviews to send me something through P.O. Box, through my mail. So he sent me King Kong Escapes. And I've never heard of this. I did not. This looks very Godzilla-esque, of course. And I know there's the old King Kong ones, but I did not know there was one where there's like a mecha type of King Kong there. So he sent me this movie, and I appreciate that very much, dude. I do want to make like an unboxing type of thing now. If people will realize that they could send me something, and if I get them, people do unboxing videos. You guys let me know. I'm going to put out a Twitter poll on this. Should I call those the unboxing or Rookie takes a look through the mail hole or something? Like, I have no idea what to call that type of thing, but I do appreciate it very much, Mongo. I'm going to give this a watch and review because you sent it. And yeah, I just really much like that. This is not the type of movie that I would normally like think to watch. So, but if I have it, then it is something that I'm more likely to watch. So again, I appreciate that. I'm going to share the screen as well for my intro. I'm showing you guys the intro that I made. This is just the beta intro, though. It's not the official one. This is just one that I threw together to see if it's a cool way to start a stream. And here we go. Here we go. All right, now I hope you guys liked that. I put that together. I plan on making a better version of that, a bigger version kind of, because there's like 80 people that gave me cameos for that, and that was part of the Rookie's Quest episode 3, part of the finale. That was where people gave me energy for my version of a spirit bomb, kind of like from Dragon Ball Z, to help defeat Kylo, Jeremy, and future Jeff. So that was fun back in those days. I'm gonna start posting like one or 2 minute clips from my Rookie's Quest trilogy again, leading up to my next big project, because I don't know if everybody's seen it yet. I'll put links to them, and people on Twitter, I don't know if they've all seen my Rookie's Quest trilogy, and if they want to see my next series, seeing some little bits or getting enticed through seeing the Rookie's Quest stuff will be a little bit interesting for them, hopefully. There's people like John Talks, Josiah Rises, Jesse Milestone, even Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers, EVS. There's a lot of people that cameo in it, and a lot of people in the chat as well, that have been in there quite a bit. Snowdove, Jolly, and Megs play a role. Red Gaze, even. The next one is, even Doomcock has been in like been 2 of my trilogies so far. And in my very next project, it's going to be more than a trilogy. It's going to be an episodic type of thing. And Doomcock's going to play a role. The Doomcock Darlings are going to play a role. The gods of cinema are going to be unleashed. And again, I'm not telling you guys what the gods of cinema are, but those shall be unleashed. Don't you worry about that. All right. Let's see. They said that's pretty good. They love it. Hail. All right. Jolly puke powers are tight. Yeah. Pretty much. But all right, I'll do one last Subway story, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. But then I'll be right back. Actually, I'm gonna eat something, and and then I'm gonna do a John Wick stream in like an hour or so. I was gonna do it at 10 a.m. my time, but like I've not eaten yet. I'm not showered. I just got up and I almost forgot that I was doing this stream. So I do apologize. This is actually going on longer than I thought it was going to, but I appreciate everybody coming on in here. I'm giving a shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. So my last tale from a sandwich artist today. And this will now be an episodic thing because this is actually pretty fun to talk about going over, reliving some of these things. So I'll talk about when I wanted to own a Subway. So this was around 2015, I want to say, and maybe 2014. It was kind of, okay, yeah, it was around 2014, I'll say. It was a couple of years after graduation. I already worked at Subway for a little while. It's been like 2 or 3 years by that point. And I was like, okay, I wouldn't mind trying to learn about business. Somebody online, I forget who or why or what, but somebody suggested that I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, So I bought that book off of Amazon and I gave that a read, and I actually kind of liked it. It was a pretty good book about telling somebody that, like, as a kid was learning these certain things about business and then grew up, and he is able to retire at freaking 40 years old. He retired at 40 because he amassed enough and had enough investments to continue making money after retirement. Like, this dude had it set and settled. It was freaking impressive. So, but I got that book. I learned from that book, and I was like, okay, I think that'd be kind of cool if I became a business owner. I want to start making that investment. And I thought that a Subway, because I was working at a Subway. In fact, I was working at 2 Subways at the time, I believe. I was working at 2 Subways. I was open at one store and closed at the other. And I just took, oh, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. No, I was not working at 2 Subways, but it was after I've worked at 2 Subways, though. So I had that experience, extra manager experience, and I was taking an intro to business class in school. And this was around when I was working those 2 jobs. And I was like, okay, so do I want to own a Subway? Fuck no. I thought that a Subway was going to cost like $30,000 to own. I thought, it'd be $30,000, and that's how much it would cost to own a Subway. Maybe a little extra, like $50,000 for like, paying people and, extra payments maybe. But it's like, no, that's a low ball that I had no idea. It is around $100,000 to own a franchise. And then that's just like a general blanket of it. But, then there's like plus a $15,000 like franchise fee that you have to pay, like an owner's fee. Like, oh, you're now a thing, but now you got to prove it by paying $15,000 more. And then you have to have like a good few months rent ready to pay, and like extra money for utilities and employees like immediately. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like I do not want to invest that much into a Subway. The idea was like, oh, I'd work at a Subway for a while, because the benefit when you like own a Subway is that they teach you how to manage it. Basically, they teach you how to own it. They give you a set of things that you need to order. They pretty much help you on what you need to do for your store. They tell you what you need for maintenance. They tell you what you need to keep your store running. So that's why that would be beneficial, and that's why you pay that amount for them. But so like if you wanted to own your own store that is like your own type of restaurant that is not Subway, if you don't have any experience, you could easily screw up. So if you start out by owning a Subway, then you pretty much will already be taught as you go. You won't be able to make too many mistakes. You'll already kind of have them corrected before you can fuck up and make them. So then if you were to own a real business, you'd have that experience. So that was the idea that I had going into it. And I thought that was great. But I'm like, maybe I could invest 5 years into owning a Subway business. But Jesus Christ, like if I were to do if it's over $100,000, like you'll be in the hole so far that it would take like a good 10 years investment and not so many problems happening during that whole time. Like things have to be going good and well for me to make that back and make profit enough to like, I can't do that. And then I'm like, well, maybe I could still be a business owner in general. Like, of another, like a food cart. I thought a food cart would be cheap enough, hey, like, have a decent type of hot dog stand, or screw it. I live by Portland, do a gluten-free stand. I have no idea, something. And no, that's expensive too. That's around a minimum $30 or not $30. That's around a minimum $30,000, but that's also. But then add the extra fees on top of that, so you're ending up at around near $100,000 again. But like more like $80,000 is kind of the more rough top, I guess. But it depends on the location, the type of food you want to sell and want to make, how many employees you want to have. Like that all kind of depends. If you're all self-sufficient, that's fine. But man, like it is not like I was working the 2 jobs before, and then at this time, after I took the intro to cinema class, I was still kind of thinking about it. But then I was working at a Papa Murphy's, a Subway, and I was going to school, and I was just like, God, I do not want to own a store. Fuck, like I'm already invested enough here, and I'm not even a full-on manager, but I was doing the duties of a manager, and I'm like, an owner has to technically worry about this at every second of the day, even if they're not there to work for it. Like you should be concerned about what's happening at your location that makes you money at all times, because anything could happen. For all you know, it gets shoot up. For all you know, it blows up, or it's on fire, or flooded, or so a machine breaks, an EMP happens. I have no idea what the hell can happen. Just an employee could just screw up your thing. The delivery people could have fucked up and delivered you rotten food. I have no idea, and then it like really would affect your business. So it's like I don't want to have that kind of stress for 10 years. I can maybe deal with that for 5 years, but I don't want to do that for longer. So I do not want to be a business owner anymore, but I do want to be self-sufficient, which is kind of why I've gone this route of YouTube, honestly, because I want to be a film director someday, and I want to apply skills that I learn. And I've learned so much through trying to do my projects and trying to collaborate and talk with people that know more about certain topics than I do. So and that's kind of what I'm doing now, and I'm still working. And that's why I'm still working at a Subway, and why I'm going to college, and why I'm doing YouTube all together in a nice little bow. And I don't have any kids yet or anything, thankfully, so I can do this without that in the way until I'm ready, which is good. So now that's the end of the stories for today. But I'm gonna go back to the chat and see what you guys are doing. I'm gonna take a little break and probably come back. Instead of coming back at 10 a.m., probably more like 10:30 or closer to 11. I'll come back for the John Wick stuff. But let's see. We got a 99-cent super chat from Christy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, she had a little sneak peek last night on her stream, which, by the way, if you still have that stream up, Christy, I suggest everybody in the chat go and check it out. It's pretty fun. Skip to like 2 hours in so you can get the real juicy stuff, where I come in later. It's a little crazy. It was pretty much a meme fest. I know that Gaze and Snowdub would have loved that. Definitely. We got Lando Calrissian in the chat. It says, "Who's the sandwich artist? I have a foot-long man meat problem." Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I can help you out with that, buddy. I can help you out. Wink, wink. Let's see. Mongo's Big Thing says that was a cool intro. Thank you very much. Hail Red Gaze, Hail Snow, Hail Bionic Belly Button, 19K Fox. Which I hope that we're good, Fox. I thought that video I posted on Twitter was kind of funny because I'm like being dramatic about I've never watched one of your videos. I'm gonna make it up to you starting right now. It's just one of those things where like I know that you're a good dude and a good YouTuber, but I just never watched your stuff, and I'm like, God, I gotta watch them. I gotta do it. And so I'm gonna try to make that into one of the videos I check out every now and then because I know you got good takes. So definitely doing that, my friend. And Phelan Reacts, she's a rising YouTuber as well. I'd say give her a good check out and whatnot. She got shorter videos, so those are pretty good to go and check out. Tommy says Doomcock eyed on everyone's list. What? Oh, Doomcock is on everyone's list. Yeah, of course. Of course, everybody wants Doomcock for Christmas. If you could wake up and have Doomcock wrapped up for you for Christmas, wouldn't you be happy? Let's see. Boom. Y'all take care. Have a good one, Ancient One. Let's see what's going on down here. Everybody saying hi. Hello, Teresa Martin. Teresa Martin is awesome. She is a huge supporter of everybody and is always everywhere. She always sneaks in everywhere. She might not stick around in the chat as long, but she does interact, and she is around, always lurking. The Flipster is back. What's up, Flipster? Hell yeah. Thank you, Snow, for doing your mod duties. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, Christy, you're not a mod on here either. Christy and Tommy are like literally the mob, or not the mob, the mod. You guys are not the mob. You're the mod like duos of YouTube. I feel because just everybody, even people that I don't expect you guys to know as well, you're like a mod for, and you're there. And I'm like, what? Just like, how are you there? And like earlier in the morning, you could have been like on somebody else's stream, and then somebody else streams like 3 hours later, and it's just a random person, and you were also there and a mod. And it's like somebody else like in the evening, and oh, you're there too and a mod. It's like, what the hell? So it's like you guys have teleportation powers, but with YouTube. I don't know. Or, you just have different tabs open and can pop into each one at any time. So that makes more sense. Let's see. Snowdub says, I wanted to own a club until I realized liquor license cost a fortune. Yeah, there's that too. Snow, there's that too. I didn't understand how much actual money needs to be invested in it, but when I learned about that, I changed my mind completely. I'm like, I do not want to own a business. Screw that. Let's see. The Senate has arrived. What's up, buddy? He says hello there. I do appreciate that. He is the man. He is the main man. Honestly, I love how he's also around everywhere as well. And he is one of the meme kings, I would say, on Twitter. Always on point, always doing something. And he's got school too, I think. So it's good. It's nice that he finds time around that. So I do appreciate it, buddy. He says, finally get to use my phone in class. These teachers are like Nazis toward phones. Well, that's actually good because my teachers in high school were not. They were very crappy about like handling people on their phones. They were not like very skilled or talented at monitoring that at all. So it's good that they're on point. God damn it. See, there's so many stories I can tell now. Usually I'm always trying to talk about a movie topic, which is fine, and I can do that. But these ones are just, things I don't have to think about as much because they're just they're just in my memories. This one chick in one of my classes, she's actually one of my friends, but it's just funny to see her get in trouble. And so we had this one history teacher, and we're in this auditorium style room, but it was like kind of like a small one to watch some type of history film for a bit. And this was in high school, by the way, I think senior year, and junior year probably. And her phone goes off, and she just starts talking on her phone in the middle of the class. And he's like, you don't need to be on your phone. To put that away, young lady. And she was just like, it's my mom. I'm on my phone. You cannot tell me to leave. And he's just like, just you leave the class. Get the hell out of here. And she's like, no, I'm not leaving. No. It's just like, oh my God. It's just funny because we're almost adults at that point. We're in junior year. We're kids, but we're almost adults now, and to like see somebody react like that over a phone call and in class, and just to talk back like that to a teacher was funny as hell. And I felt so bad for the guy because he's an old dude, and he's like from that generation that's like, dude, you just never had this type of disrespect. Like, oh my God. So it was kind of funny, but I felt bad for the teacher because he's a very respectable person. So it's just kind of like, why are you giving him this type of crap? It's funny for certain teachers, maybe like, like a substitute. It's like, but I don't know. It was still funny though, to be there. He had to be there to see it. And the Bionic Belly Button says, you guys have a great day. Thanks, Rook. Yep. You have a good one as well. I don't know if everybody's leaving now or not. I always suck at ending these. I'll probably end just by playing the intro. I'll just end on that, and then I just end the live stream so that I don't prolong it too much longer. And let's see. If you guys are wondering, I'm going to have pizza for breakfast because I'm a fatty. That's what I'm going to do. I pop leftover Papa Murphy's. I'm going to warm that up and have that for breakfast, and then I'll get back to y'all with John Wick in a bit. Let's see. Phelan says, y'all are the nicest people. Flipped out and Rook. Well, I do appreciate that, Phelan. I hope that your channel growth is growing. And I like that you have smaller videos because there's so many like videos to watch and so many YouTubers that it's hard to watch all their stuff. Like, especially when I put videos out that are like, an hour long for my skits, it's probably hard for people to actually sit through all of them. So that's kind of why when I do my next project, I'm going to try to make them as short as I can, but as short as I can means instead of it being an hour and 20 minutes, it's probably going to be 20 minutes to 40 minutes. So, I mean, that's not really short, but in YouTube terms, that's more digestible, at least. That's a good TV episode if you're going to watch something. And Tommy says, I'll have to take a nap and recharge at some point. No, I do believe you have infinite energy, and that's how you run. You have nuclear energy or something, so you are good. You're going to run forever. And let's see. I learned from EBS that when you don't have anything to say at the moment, just start saying random things like start doing a tune. Flipped Out says, hey, Rookie Critic, have you been robbed at Subway? Yes, Flipped Out. I actually told that story about half an hour into the stream. So yeah, I told when I got robbed. It wasn't at gunpoint. It was just like a bunch of black dudes came in and robbed me. It's basically how you can, if you wanted to have an off-the-cuff riff of it without any context and make it seem worse than it is, then yeah. But I got you. So The script doctor says, sorry, I had to step out and do office work. That's totally fine. I imagine a lot of you are at work right now. As the Senate's at school, I think Christy is at work. Flip is probably at work. Script doctor is at work. Yeah, everybody's doing stuff. That's probably why I'm actually surprised there's this many people in the chat this morning, because it's the morning, at least in the East, it's the afternoon, but still that's like around lunchtime and around, you're still in the middle of your day maybe and doing errands and stuff. So I don't know, but thank you, chat. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm just going to end the stream on the note of sharing that video again, the intro thing. So I appreciate y'all being here, and I'll see you guys in like an hour or so if you guys want to see the John Wick stream. So I'll just leave it on that, and I shall say farewell. Have a good day, my friends.